All right, let's do another one.
Yep.
Spin the wheel. Oh wow, we're doing the
No
complete
way.
Oh, the opposite.
opposites.
Oh wow, that's actually the opposite. Yeah, that's
I
crazy.
feel like this one might be a bit easier to do, in all honesty.
Oh no.
Good. Yeah,
I feel
because
like
there's
this
so
one's
many Jedi to pick from.
yeah, there's so many good people.
All right, let's see who's spinning first. Oh, picking first.
I can't even use a sword.
Ooh.
Oh, Mark.
Mark,
Oh, first.
I'm
Well, that's
gonna be,
unfair, in
I'm
all
kind of gonna be
honesty.
in the middle.
Actually, that's if anything, I feel like whoever's third has the best
No, I
at
want
the
to be the middle.
start.
All right, I got middle.
Damn, I'm the worst. I'm in Cooper's first one now. I think the last one's probably the worst.
A Sith Lord?
So, oh wait, hang on. I don't want to pick that one. I want to do this one. Oh, Joe's. All right, so, um, Mark, you're up first.
Yeah,
So, feel free to pick a character.
the most
Okay, you
lineup, I reckon.
and you got to change the subtitle of the table as
I
well.
do most good. That doesn't make sense, but you know,
Hmm.
it's all right.
The most pure.
This is actually kind of difficult. I because you see, I'm thinking of a certain character that I'm sure one of you will pick eventually, but I'm not actually going to pick them. I think I'm going to start with Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Hmm, interesting.
Cooper doesn't seem super happy. I think he wanted Obi-Wan, but
Oh, well, I
I
thought
mean,
you'd pick another character first.
Yeah.
yeah, I think I know who you're thinking of, but I think Obi-Wan is kind of one of the most just good characters that exists in Star Wars. I don't know if there's that much debate. Like he seems to have this, like he's known as the negotiator. He doesn't always just go in lightsaber blazing to slash and burn against his enemies. He uses his intellect up here, and I think that's what makes him a good character. And obviously, he has his morals as well.
Hmm.
That's interesting, actually.
Well, like I was saying, I was expecting to pick Obi-Wan because I thought you were going to take the most obvious one first.
Hmm.
Um, old Joe's pit stop is taking Luke Skywalker as
Yeah,
the
okay.
first
I
pick.
knew that's who you.
I, I actually thought there was a more obvious one. Interesting.
Well, I was thinking, I know who you're going to take
Yeah.
now, but I was thinking him, but I just thought in general, Luke, I mean, he's good enough and pure enough to be able to turn one of the most evil people in the galaxy to the light side. I think that's probably what it comes down to. And just
Also,
even beyond that, he's got a fighting spirit. He never gives up. As much as he whinges and whines in
He's got the
episode
willpower.
4, it's like, no, he's got a good
You know
heart.
what? I can't believe actually didn't pick Luke, to be
I know,
honest.
that's what I was expecting to
But
pick Obi-Wan.
but the thing is, if I did pick Luke, I could have slagged on the sequels.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
That's
No,
good.
I still think even in the sequels, the fact that he's
No,
shows up right at the end.
the fact that he was willing to kill his nephew.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad, but yeah.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
think overall he's a good character. He's
yeah,
very,
obviously.
very good. I'm gonna get this out of the way just so we got to get the most obvious ones out there. Yoda.
Oh, that's the who I thought you would
Wow.
pick.
Really?
Wow.
Who are you thinking of?
Okay,
Yoda.
I just want to wait and see if you.
So the only contradictory I have of Yoda, right, is that he's been around and alive for so many years that you're bound to have a lot of faults, and that's what we kind of see in the movies a little bit, like with being blind. Well, not blinded because the whole Jedi Council was basically blinded by there was a Sith rising, so you can technically say that Obi-Wan was also part of that. But Yoda is essentially someone who won't fight unless he has to, like what you're saying with Obi-Wan. He's a lot more wise in terms of the knowledge he has.
Mm.
Also, did basically create the temple in terms of like shaping it to what it was, which was keepers of the peace at first before they became soldiers. He even when he's talking to Luke and Dagobah, he basically essentially created the Luke Skywalker we know today. Otherwise, he would have still been the whiny,
When you
non-belief.
say the Luke we know today, which Luke?
Yeah, yeah. I'm talking about the one from original trilogy, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
good.
So I just think he is the light side, and if he was evil, then the galaxy would have been doomed. Because I think if Yoda was evil like Emperor, he would be more like he would be the most powerful being in the
And
galaxy.
actually, if you think about it, like you said, someone who's been around so long, 900 years, if
Yeah,
he if he can last 900 years and still not convert to like having some form of evil or dark side in him, he must have a very strong willpower.
oh, 100%. Um, my next one, I obviously I think this category though, however, has the most to choose from because
Yeah.
we always focus on the protagonists of the franchises. So I think no matter what, they're all going to be taken by the end of this. But I want to be the one to have this person in my team, and Princess Leia.
Okay.
Oh,
I want Princess Leia. Princess Leia is the embodiment also of pure spirit and fighting spirit. She, we don't see her in the movies aside from a flat. Yeah, aside from her using the Force to survive in space and the flashback of them fighting, we see her as more as a commanding kind of general in the war. And she's someone who was probably looked down upon greatly at first, but then rose to power through her, intelligence and fighting spirit. That I think just everyone kind of follows her orders because they know that she's true of heart and character, and everyone knows how strong she is mentally and also physically with being a Skywalker. So I think she's just the pure spirit that we all love with the twins. Yep.
Solid choice.
that was going to be my choice because I thought you were going to take another character.
There's so many.
Yeah, so do
There
I.
are,
So
but
many.
I thought this character would go like first or second or
I want to
something.
use this character too if you're gonna say.
So I'm gonna take Anakin
Yeah,
Skywalker.
I thought Jack would say Anakin
No,
straight away.
Yeah.
Because I don't think he actually in my I don't want to branch off, but in my head, he is not the embodiment of pure. I know like if we're talking about before he turned, he still did I don't know, he still was very whiny and even in a
See-
relationship with Padme in Attack of the Clones, he was a bit forceful, a bit creepy. So I was like, I don't know if he's the best character, like the best
That's
good.
actually why I didn't pick him as well.
Well, I was thinking that, but then I really thought about it. At the end of the day, what he does is he protects. He
Mhm.
protects the people that he cares about. Padme, Obi-Wan, he always goes to help Obi-Wan. It's not like he has ill intentions. It's only when he starts kind of, it was like right at the end of the Clone
Yeah.
Wars when this starts happening. Yes, there's shades of darkness, but it's never like, you know, that serious. I know he murders the Tuscans and everything, but
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
that's that's not. You think about that in comparison to everything else he does. He helps the Republic. He's a noble warrior of the Jedi, and he protects people.
I think
That's what I think.
I think he's just too on the fence. You know what I mean? Like he's
Yeah,
You
my
know
that's fair
what?
enough.
favorite
I
characters.
reckon if you look at Anakin from episode 6, from when the helmet's taken off Vader, I think that's a good example.
Hmm.
Let's look at
Yeah.
his son the last time. He wants to rather die by looking at
Yeah,
his
because
son.
I kind of have like, I think as everyone does, kind of like the two Anakins is the Anakin up until he becomes Vader, and then
Yeah.
once the mask is off,
Yep.
then yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, my two picks, I'm glad these two haven't been picked, and I feel like they're a bit more obscure, but not really. My first pick will be Qui-Gon Jinn.
Yep. That was
Oh, that's a
my
good
next,
pick.
that was my
Yeah.
next.
I
Damn.
think, yeah, I thank you, Cooper, for saying it's a good pick, and I put a bit of thought into it, and he's the one. Again, we just had this discussion on Anakin, but he's the one that kind of made Anakin get trained. But I also feel like Qui-Gon is a true Jedi.
Yep.
Like, and I've said this before, and I'm gonna make this joke again. Not he didn't get a full amount of studs in the Lego game, but he's not like blinded by the council. I feel like he actually follows the Jedi code in the way
Yep.
that he sees he should, and he's
Exactly.
a bit more autonomous of the Jedi Council in that respect.
Yeah.
And my second character, I feel like is again a bit more obscure, but kind of similar to the Leia Organa pick, and I'm gonna pick Chewbacca.
Yes.
Okay.
No. That's mine also. No.
Chewbacca, because I feel like Han Solo is obviously a good character, and he'll probably get picked at some point, but he's still kind of, well, at least to start with, in it for himself. And don't get me wrong, Chewbacca is as well, but I feel like he's more just along for the ride.
Mm,
And I feel like we've seen so many times in the movies that Chewbacca has like a very pure emotional and moral standing. And I
mm.
think for that reason, that's why I picked him.
Nice.
Please,
Um,
please
n-
don't do.
well, so I'm kind of tossing up between two characters. Um, I've I feel like if I don't take this character, she's not going to be there later. So I'm going to take Padme. I'm gonna
Oh, that was my next one.
No.
I know it's easy to think of her as the episode 3 version where she kind of just hangs around and sulks a bit. But you got to think in episode 1, she's like a diplomat. She's fighting for the freedom of Naboo
Well,
from the
she's a
blockade.
literal queen.
Oh, and the
Yeah,
Queen, yeah. And then even in episode 2, she's getting out there on the battlefield and she's fighting against the Separatists. So I feel like you can't go wrong with Padme as a
Well,
as a
I
selection.
honestly would have picked her because of what she does in the Senate, because
Yeah,
she stands for like liberty and equality and all that sort
yeah.
of thing.
And also she stands up against Anakin, who at that point is probably the most
Mm,
evil person in the galaxy, or second most evil person in the galaxy, and basically tries to tell him like, don't do this. Come back
yeah.
to me.
100%.
So that's pretty nuts.
Yep.
So yeah, Padme's my third pick.
My next two picks, hilarious. You're gonna love them. I'm gonna take them because they may not be my favorite in the franchise, but I think their intentions are always pure. And my first one's gonna be R2D2.
No, that's who I was
Yes.
thinking. Damn it.
Yes.
R2D2, baby. So
Good
he's
one.
always been with them no matter what, by the sides of all heroes from the protagonist. Like even with Anakin before he turned, even when he turned, and you could just tell, like, even without speaking, he just was always, trying to help out as much as he can, even though he put himself on the line. He got fried a couple times, even in return when he tried to hack the thing. He he's always happy, and even when he's a bit sassy, he's always doing it for
Hmm.
the right intentions. So I just think
And I've actually,
he's
can I build on that?
good.
I read I think it was in a book that R2 is kind of like almost the hero of Star Wars, because in almost he's been a part of almost every major thing that happened in the series.
Yep.
Like there's just too many to name, but he's been there in every major event, and he's contributed in a way that would be perceived as for the good side.
Oh yeah, 100%. Um, this next pick, just for the memes, I don't like him at all, but C3PO,
Oh, I
because
can't believe you say you don't like him.
no, it's just I don't like with R2, I think he almost has more personality even without speaking. But C3PO, he literally wouldn't even repeat and help the good guys out by saying the Sith code until they have to override him because he's that pure of nature. He's always willing to help everyone. He gets kind of gets sometimes bullied quite a bit, but he still
Mm.
perseveres and he still helps out. We've seen it throughout every single movie, even in the original trilogy and the compactor and everything. Like he's those two droids are the most pure droids that we get in the franchise. Maybe aside
Yep.
from another one, but he's not as good as these two. So yeah,
And I feel like C3PO kind of in some respects almost is gives therapy in some ways to people. Like he acts as like a mental support for them.
mm, for
That's good.
sure.
That's two good picks, Joe. I had R2D2. I was tossing up between R2 or Padme, but I chose Padme.
Yeah.
Um, I'm tossing up between two characters again, but I think I'm gonna go with Jin Erso for
Oh
my
yeah,
fourth
that's a good
pick
one.
because I know, like, she's probably not the most well-known hero, but I know she goes against orders, but she does it because she sees an opportunity to free the galaxy, a potential to free the galaxy, and she inspires right before they get out onto the Scarab battlefield. She inspires all those troopers to go out there. And I know, was it Jin or was it Cassian who said make 10 men feel like? I think it was Cassian who said make 10 men feel like 100.
No,
But
I think it was Jin.
No, that was Cassian.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, because he
Jin
said it
Jin
just like
says something along the lines of hope. I can't remember what the
yeah,
quote is.
she said something about like the rebellions are built on hope kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Mm,
I just think to have that ability to inspire after coming from such a dark place
mm.
is really quiet. And I think that's what makes her quite
She
good.
really
So,
has a transformation from,
yeah.
it's not a problem if you don't look up, to
Yes.
leading a suicide mission
And
in
all in one
honor.
movie. So
Yeah,
yeah, I think Jin Erso is a good pick at four.
yeah,
100%.
that's good. I think I'm going to pick one of the main characters that hasn't been picked yet, who I mentioned before, is Han Solo.
Yeah.
I mean, I've already got Chewbacca, so I kind of need to have them together. But I mean, it's kind of obvious. He's one of the main characters of one of the main protagonists, and he eventually leads the rebellion by being a general. So I think that one's pretty obvious. Second one is a bit more of a side character, and I'm actually gonna pick Bail Organa
Yeah.
because of his role in like
Mm.
founding and organizing the rebellion,
Mm,
and or even as a senator for Alderaan, I think it was in the Senate, but yeah, just mainly because of his roles in the Rebel Alliance, and also because he raised Leia, so I think that contributes.
100%.
Mm.
100%.
Um, for old Joe's pit stop, we've got a bit of dilemma here at the pit stop because we got two characters again, and one is a very well loved and popular character, and one is one who is not liked, especially by members on the panel,
Right.
but I feel has a very inspiring sort of arc. Oh, am I gonna regret? No, okay, I'm taking Lando Calrissian
Oh yeah, good one.
because
Oh, good.
I think episode 5 he sells out the rebels, I know, but episode 6, I think the fact that he's able to put aside all of the crap that he did and move forward and really be an asset. He leads the run on the second Death Star. He's the one who destroys the second Death Star. I think being able to step up and take captaincy of that mission, or like take the helm of the Millennium Falcon in that mission, is really brave. And I think that he's just a very, especially in 6. I'm more thinking 6 because episode 5 is still a bit of a scoundrel, but 6, yeah, I think he really steps up and is that good pure character.
Interesting. Well,
Good one.
as someone who doesn't like the sequels, also, I'm not going to say that person's name because I just don't want him on my list. I'm going to stick with the. It's funny because I just want to quickly say, with the third person of every single time we've done this so far, it's had the even for Cooper's one, we had the most random not like main character kind of like Jedi or Sith kind of thing. It's kind of funny. So I'm going to keep to that kind of thing, and I'm actually going to go with Chirrut Imwe.
Oh yeah, nice.
Rogue One, since he's kind of a character who literally is kind of
I
having.
think you spelt that the wrong way, Cooper.
I'm checking it.
Yeah, it's CHI.
All right, I got it. I got it.
I know you. But he's just a character that is the embodiment of almost believing in something when a lot of people don't, and he
Mm.
forces with him, right? And everyone thinks he's kind of crazy, and he's put his beliefs into something that is not real, but he just goes along with it and trusts in it so much that he does so much good for the Rogue One people, and he sacrifices himself for the greater good. Who's probably had a hard life being blind and stuff too, and
Mm.
kind of being tossed aside, and he's got his best mate with him also, which helps. But he's just such a good character, and as like ends in good, as in good. And my final one's actually going to be a bit of a, I don't want to say doozy, but like it's another one that I think people don't give enough recognition to because they're not in it that in the movies that much. But Shimmy Skywalker,
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
she is someone who had to endure so much hardship in her life, and she essentially was pure good. She was the one that was basically keeping Anakin from being good for the longest time and not turning kind of evil earlier. But of course, when she died, it kind of snapped a little bit. But she raised him basically to be a good, hard worker, even when there was slaves. And she was always worried about him, put his interest before her own by letting him go and not herself. So she's a selfless character, and she's just someone who is pure good, in my opinion.
Good pick. I've had this one in my head for a while. I wanted to pick him last because this is more of like a meme sort of pick, but I still think it fits the criteria. I'm gonna go Ki-Adi-Mundi
Oh my gosh!
because
He doesn't.
first of all, he's the only one in the Jedi Council that is like, what about the droid attack on the Wookiees? He cares for the
Mm.
Wookiees. He
Yeah.
cares for
He does.
Kashyyyk.
Yeah.
I think a pure of heart character would not disregard the Wookiees like that. So, but also, I mean, he goes out in trying to, rally his troops, bring them forward, attack. Yeah, he goes out as a fighting hero. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna go Ki-Adi-Mundi as my last pick.
Nice.
Hmm.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
Chancellor Palpatine.
No.
Just joking. Just
Wow.
joking.
Oh, okay.
I got you that, didn't I?
You did.
I want to give an honorable mention before I do my pick, and it's kind of similar to yours, Cooper. But I was gonna think if you took the one I'm actually gonna say, I was gonna say Plo Koon.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do too, but he's not in the movies that much.
Well, I know he's not in the movies that much, but he is in the movies, so it still counts.
Yeah, but
And
what,
it does kind of relate to Clone Wars, but because
what did he do in the movie?
and he's the one that found Ahsoka. But
That's Clone Wars.
that's why it's an honorable mention.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna pick this character's kind of a morally iffy character, but I'm still gonna put them down for good. And I'm gonna say Cassian Andor.
Interesting.
because he has done a lot of bad things, let's be honest. But he does eventually come around to realize his wrongs that he's done, I would say at least. And he does what he does for the rebellion. So I think that's a honorable cause, but maybe the way he goes about it could be changed up a little bit.
100%. May I just add to this, by the way? This is our final list for the good lineup. And I would like to say that if we added the animated shows or any shows in general, this would be so much different.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like Hera, you would have like even Ezra,
I'd put
Ahsoka.
Ahsoka in there.
Ahsoka, Plo Koon again. Like this,
Yeah.
it's actually crazy to show what a difference it can make by just focusing on the main movies. And I like to think that this list here that we all did is you got the obvious ones, but quite original.
Yeah, they are.
A little bit. So I think it's very good.
Yeah.
And I think for the benefit of those who can't see the tables, I think we should go through them.
Oh no, we'll just post it up later for them. They can listen and see the visual. We'll probably put it up on Instagram. Question mark.
Yeah, could do that.
Similar to like the tier list one that we did.
Yeah, okay. All right, I'll do that.
If you want, I thought it would be fun to go through them, but
But they can hear. That's all right.
All right. Any favorites for the list again? Because I generally quite like Mark's. I think Mark's is really good.
I like to. I don't know. I don't really have a favorite for this one.
I think,
Yeah.
actually, I think they're all really good.
Yeah,
They are all good.
I don't really have.
I'm just looking like Jax is good just as a general one,
Mm.
and then I feel like mine and Cooper's, apart from actually no, not apart from any of them. Well, apart from Bale, those two teams could probably go into combat and do quite a good deal of damage.
I think you guys got aside from mine having Yoda and Leia. I think I wouldn't count the droids as much, but I think you guys have the most key good characters in the whole franchise. I think almost like the most good.
Yeah,
So,
that's what. Maybe that's why I'm differentiating it because I'm not saying like a. Oh, I mean, Leia's there, but
Leia and Yoda. But yeah. But
Yeah.
I think the third picks for. I think the common trope is the third picks are the most outrageous ones almost because Cooper's ones had a lot of the Imperial officers for the evil ones. So it's quite
Oh, you mean the person who went third?
yeah. So
Ah.
it's interesting to see the structuring of how we've done it. It's quite
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
it. Great.
well, that'll
That was
bring us
good.
to the end of
That was fun.
the draft. I had a lot of fun doing that.
Yeah.
And we might do it again in the future. But that's all from us today. Do you guys have any final notes, or are you all good?
That was
All
good.
good.
Imagine
right,
if we
well-
could add these two, Mando and Grogu.
Grogu
Yes.
is your heart. He's the best.
All right,
he's
thanks. Yeah. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye bye.
Bye.